Happy Fragment Friday! This is a grumpy old guy gaming on the Arcadia Pi server. Our keywords are unknown fruitless ground. Let's get right into it. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun on this wonderful Friday the 13th, month of November. Going to go ahead, get my buffs up, and doing a little bit of equipment hunting, and we've come up with some doozies. Managed to find a new spear in the guild shops. If you're heading online today, go ahead, check out the guild marketplace. Support one of the local guilds and spend some coin on a new weapon or a piece of armor. Also, found myself a sublime stole the other day, running one of the whale shark dungeons. That video, I believe, is already up in the Fragment section. Feel free to double check. I'm pretty sure it'll be up by the time this one comes out. Pick the levers up out of that chest. Nice snowy field. I say nice snowy field because it's unseasonably warm right now, at least where I'm at. November is usually not a month where you see 60 and 70 degrees. Cooled off a bit more today. It was right around 50 by the time I was leaving work. But still, far nicer to see snow burying houses in a video game than it is in real life. Don't mind an inch or two though. That's just personal preference. Pick up some cordyceps while I'm over here. Right now I got a host of buffs going. I've got a speed boost, I've got App Corv and App Vorb for physical attack and defense up, and then I've got Rig Same and Rig Geem, so I've got health and mana regeneration too. Right now we are hacking away at a general armor while a noisy wisp sort of circles around. Looks like we got something in the wood harpy line too, a pair of those. Yep, wood harpies. These things, the wood harpies and especially the wisps, have pretty high physical evasion. So we're just going to go ahead and just chuck some spells at them. I think I've got Ruzot. I believe that's the one that... It's either Ruzot or Rudon. It's one of those. It's the one with the ice crystals sort of crashing in on each other. Makes a fun sound. I mainly like it for that. That's probably not Ruzot. I think Ruzot raises the ice from the ground. Feel free to let me know in the comments. Nobody's ever going to accuse me of being an expert in this with commentary like this. That's good though. Favorite part of a game is the learning stages. Going to town on another wisp here, just clearing out the field portals. Been on a bit of a string of marathon runs lately. So happy to get a shorter run in this time, and certainly happier to commentate on it. Been doing a bunch on the Fragment section. Released the first Weird Happenings in the World video this week. Apologies for anyone who's watching that. Certainly not my A game on that one, but certainly put forth as much effort as I could muster without throwing something. At some point, I've really got to record just how awful I am at the process of this and do it behind the scenes, so I could get at least more comedic value from when things go horribly off the rails like that episode did. That said, bit of a minor milestone for me. That was my 100th upload, which means that I indeed have no life in the year 2020. Thank you all anyway for watching. Just taking down these wood harpies, just comboing off an attack skill. I just picked this spear up literally before this run, so I'm not familiar with the name because I did my usual best of failing to take notes and didn't write it down. Got a general armor coming up once we finish off that portal. Turn around and just battle it for the sake of battling. Larger enemy, fairly easy to hit, no need to waste the SP. which is good because the Rig Geem and Rig Same have already worn off. Two of my absolute favorite support skills in the game, but they've got the shortest clock, I believe, on any of the buffs. When I pulled the Sublime Soul, I was just on top of the world. I'm like, alright, nothing's gonna stop me now. And then the first dungeon I went to after, I was ambushed right on login and ended up leveling down. So we are back to level 19 at the beginning of this video. Once again, pulling a Wood Harpy, 2 Noisy Wisps, and a General Armor. Pretty well flushed out with water element stuff. Usually don't like to specialize on the off chance you run into that thing that's just element resistant. But if you do have a single element setup, it's probably a good idea in one of the magic shops to go ahead and buy some Bane Scrolls to lower that resistance. I believe the element Banes could be found in Dunloriag and in Fordoof. Just running out of so many mage souls, such an anemic SP pool. Built my characters for flavor. There was very little, if any, thought of optimizing out, but it's safe to say that especially my Wave Master is sort of built mechanically backwards. Here this General Armor sort of went to town on me in this portal, and I find myself near half health even with the regeneration going on. Managed to make it through though. Got a nice chunk of experience from it. 12 experience for the General Armor. I think the Wisps are giving me, the Wisps and the Harpies are in the 5 to 6 experience neighborhood. So we're getting a good chunk of experience out of this field. Not the most densely populated with portals, but a good amount, a nice medium-sized field. Here this one's just a Wood Harpy and a Wisp, and I decide to take my try at actually attacking the Harpy to save myself some SP. Pleasantly surprised that it went down in 2 shots. Not so lucky with the Wisp here, as my spells are failing a decent percentage of the time, but we managed to get through it. Mage's souls are a little pricey as far as consumables go, but it could always be worse, especially when the alternative is dying. The Wisps, I believe, have a Death Touch ability. It doesn't proc super often, but as you know, having one hit take you down to critical health is just not a chance you want to take very often, especially if you're a dummy like me and you decide to solo all the time. Making our way through, just a few portals left here. Didn't realize the field took this long to clear. It's one of those things that I guess in the moment felt a little shorter, or perhaps it's just that much later in the day and my patience is waning. But we're coming up on 9 minutes already. I didn't really expect that when it came time to this video. It sort of felt when I was recording the footage like it just kind of flew by. Honestly wondering if I would have to string a couple runs together to pad this out and make it a proper video, because I just kind of feel a responsibility to throw up at least a decent sized video for you guys. Also doing my best to not get sidetracked as often here, coming up on this portal with a General Armor and a Harpy and a Wisp. Oh my. Didn't quite work, did it? Just chucking little ice cubes at the Harpy there, finish it off. Now the Wood Harpy has woefully little magical resistance, so when you hit it, it's usually for a good chunk and it doesn't take more than 2 spells. The Wisp, on the other hand, is a bit of a toughie. You could hit it at range, but expect to hit that sucker at least 3 or 4 times unless you're super decked out with magical power. Here we just have you know, bunch after bunch of cordyceps. I pick up a half dozen here alone. Got a couple portals left, and they're both right next to the dungeon, so we're just going to race over there real quick. First portal gives us a general armor. We will take that 12 experience happily. No chest to drop, so we are on our way to the other side of the building. But first stopping in to grab a couple more cordyceps, because what's it hurt to have a couple more cordyceps, right? 2 general armor, make that 3 and a noisy wisp. Thought the noisy wisp hit us with a death touch attack there, but fortunately it was just a skilled rain. Here we're just working on the armors, just trying to whittle them down using that attack skill. Take out 2 in one sweep. Now this portal is infinitely easier to get through. 3rd general armor goes down without much of a struggle, and it's just a matter of chucking spells at the wisp. Take it down, not much to do out here, but check out this trapped chest, and inside we find an executioner. Nice little level 5 blade master weapon, I believe. It's got the death touch ability on it as well. So if you're getting anyone into the game and you're looking for a quick little gift, if they're running a Blade Master, Executioner, good starter weapon. Won't really spoil them outright, but it's a good place to start, and that first time you're able to take a stronger monster down far quicker than you ever should have, it's just badass. Filling out the Fairy's Orb on the first floor here, and I'm going to take a moment, get some of the buffs back up and going. First portal of the dungeon yields a general armor and a wood harpy, so nothing we haven't seen before on this field. You kind of expect very similar enemies to what was on the field in the first level, and we're certainly not going to complain with enemies that are both manageable and giving decent experience. Moving through to this square room, pretty empty, but we've got some barrels, we've got some crates, and we've got a chest sitting right in the corner that's going to give us the levers. Makes me think we should have knocked. Wait a moment for that joke to die midair. While we're waiting, I'll go ahead and apply more buffs. It's nice to have a bunch of buff skills on your equipment like this, but at the same time, you're constantly managing the buffs. So get used to hitting those shortcuts. Empty room there, so we're just going to breeze by into this little upside down V. Head down the dead end path first. It's going to take us to a 90-degree turn room that I revive an old tradition of turning the camera the wrong way in. Once we finally get back into focus, I have a battle with the navel area of a general armor because the camera's all zoomed in. And it looked like there was something in the moth family there. Took it down right quick and in a hurry, and we got our level back. Happy level 20 again to us. Once again, a moth. Not a moth, I'm sorry. A general armor. That's the big yellow thing that looks like a general armor. It's a general armor. Couple harpies here. Take them out. Still getting 10 experience from the armor and 5 from the harpies. Certainly not arguing with 20 experience for that portal. The big splashy numbers are great, but when soloing, it's important to get that consistent damage and most importantly to be in winnable situations. Got some big stuff coming up here. Thanksgiving in the US is coming up here later in the month. Believe shortly before that, the 22nd, is the anniversary of Fragment, I remember. Coming up once again, a general armor here and a wood harpy. General armor goes down easy, and we actually hit the wood harpy with a one-shot kill on a spell as it circles by the fallen general armor. Nice little clean looking kill there. And now not much to do but take the stairs down. I'm kind of interested to see what else is going on in the community on the 22nd. I've got an idea for something. Don't want to throw the plans out too much because it's in the early stages, but hopefully going to do something really fun for the 22nd. Speaking of really fun, we come up to a portal right in the middle of a big giant room, and there's a trapped chest in there that I try to attack. Apparently I thought it was a blue mimic. Could be that I just wasn't paying attention and hit the button, but we're going to go with I thought it was a blue mimic because that's somewhat funnier to me right now. Either way, I get cursed and I get a fortune wire back. Got a Lambada knife and a phantom here. That is the line in the, that is the monster in the moth line that we're facing, the phantoms. And if you've ever faced those before, you know, trying to hit them with a melee attack, especially a base melee attack, incredibly difficult. Pop them with a spell though, they tend to just cave. They're sort of paper mache to magic. Here we've got another Lambada knife and another phantom. Yeah, that right there, 711 damage, and then I followed it up with a 926. I'm only consuming 20 SP per spell, so hitting that kind of damage with a run-of-the-mill long arm that is not spec'd out or boosted for casting, you know what you're up against is pretty vulnerable. And the game just keeps chucking phantoms at me. 3 out of this portal here, one gets a little confused and ducks into that nook. Just sort of lets me isolate them, take them out one at a time here. Really relaxing when they sort of give you that moment to breathe. Not gonna lie, having Rig Same and Rig Game up at the same time are also sort of relaxing because now you aren't scrambling for your consumables when you have a moment's peace. As long as you're in a fairly even board like this, the battle dragging longer with those active is actually very much to your favor. Coming into this little dead-end room here, we've got another Lambada knife and a general armor. So 2 melee attackers against 1 melee attacker, and we win the day there and pick up a golden egg off the altar as our prize. Moving back to the T-shaped room separating those 2 previous, and we're going to do a little backtracking, which is my time to do a little plugging. It is Fragment Friday, of course, so if you're looking for a place to hang out, maybe look for a game, a chance to party up, check out Fragment Resurgence. Discord is for anything and everything Fragment related, active community, always a fun time to check out. Coming up on this portal here, we've got a Lambada knife, a general armor, and 2 phantoms that are patiently waiting for us to finish with the general armor. Love when the monsters just sort of stall out there and watch. Makes life easier. Not gonna lie. This time I actually remember to disarm the trapped chest and we get nice helm out of it. Pick up 3 chests in total in there, and my physical buffs and speed boost wore off, so we're gonna App Corv, App Vorv, and Speed Charm, because I'm not sure what the skill name for the speed boost is. Somebody out there knows. More backtracking, so more plugging. If you're looking for a place more .hack in general as far as fandom goes, Discord's still got you covered. Check out the .hack network. As all-encompassing a .hack fandom site can be, with links to everything, including the .hack network website itself, .hack.org, which features a very useful guide in getting this very game Fragment set up, both on a computer and on an actual PlayStation 2. Link to that guide will be in the description below. coming up on a general armor here. Once again, some very patient phantoms just sort of gauging us, seeing what we're doing. I think we got attacked a little there, but nothing too crazy. Helps that I have a little bit of overpowered armor, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't suck. Got the nice little pinkish purple glow from the little lava bed there, invisible walled off to that side of the room. The dungeon aesthetics in this game are just the coolest sometimes. Here we've got one of those really funky rooms with the little diagonal hallways on either side. Face a Lombada knife and a general armor right down Main Street at the midway point of the room. So nothing to do but see if there's anything in either of these wings. We find a chest in one that gives us an ice flow. Another chest spawned right where we were fighting. It's a trapped chest, so we're going to go ahead and disarm that and pick up an ice hunter cap. And the other wing is empty. But hey, at least we checked it out. Now we're going to come the whole way to the back here, find a normal chest, and it has an ice hunter cap in it. So we picked up a couple little hats. Nice holiday gifts if you're celebrating here. Doing a little more backtracking, but I've kind of ran out of things to plug. Yeah, this is just me running through a bunch of empty rooms. Here's a room that's not quite so empty. Got a portal right in the middle of it, and it gives us a trapped chest, or risky treasure, whichever phrasing you prefer. Pick up a winter coat there so we don't look silly wearing two hats and no coat. Moving down to the third floor now. Once again, pop a fairy's orb. Really feel silly now that I wasn't doing this more often previously. It's not a huge difference, but it's a nice quality of life thing. Go up against a couple Lombada knives there. They both fall to one solid strike when it hits, and they're both giving us a solid 6 experience. Not such a bad way to start off this floor. Go into another one of those semicircle rooms. This one has a door on the side that seems to be leading down a small corridor into what looks like the treasure room. So we're going to skip that path for now and just explore the rest, see where it takes us. Find a large square room. And the wood harpies from earlier are back, so we're just going to chuck some ice at them. Make sure their drinks are properly chilled. And now we're going to take the up route on the map. We've got a semicircle room with a portal right at the top of the arc. It yields a trapped chest. And inside that chest is an ice helm. A lot of headgear here. Have you noticed that dungeons typically drop one specific grouping of armor? Couple wood harpies here. I suppose that's not earth-shattering for a bunch of people to figure out, but last week I'm like, wonder why I got 5 different types of gloves out of that one. And still only the shoes I walked in with. Got a couple wood harpies here in the room to the side. I don't know, is that an intentional thing? When I do custom dungeons, and I say when loosely because it's been forever since I've worked on either of my servers, but I try and vary up the treasure a little. Moving back to the T-shaped room, and we have another dead end off of it to the other side, so we're going to check that out. Inside this portal is a phantom and a wood harpy. Doing an awful lot of casting. This is probably the least long arm play I've done. Fortunately, long arms and twin blades sort of fall in that hybrid category where they could be melee attackers, they could be casters, just sort of fit in the group wherever. I like the long arm, I really do. one of my first preferences to it is after playing IMOQ, the PlayStation 2 series for the R1 games. I was sort of twin-bladed out. I've never been a true rogue player in RPGs, so the chance to play as Long Arm was kind of fun. And also, Long Arms are kind of, weirdly, some of my favorite characters within the series. Two of my favorite characters are Krim from Sign and Gardenia from the IMOQ games. Both are Long Arms. Didn't really think about that, but yeah. I guess it's my favorite class just from lore. That's a weird thought. Always thought it would be Wave Master. Moving to this dead-end room, got a couple phantoms here. Rare miss against a phantom with a spell there, and I find myself once again drained on SP, so a mage's soul restock, and then we just keep chucking until we are through. Finish on a 926, couple more misses than I'd like to see out of a battle, but we finished on a high note. Go to pick up a frost armor, and it turns out I've been a little lazy on selling items. Hit the over 40 items qualifier, so now I've kinda gotta pick and choose what I'm going to take from here on out. Fortunately, there's not too much dungeon left, and I won't be agonizing over these choices. Unfortunately, this was very avoidable. Guys, don't forget after the runs, condense that list down. Here I get a pure water, and I just sort of spaz out a little bit. I'm kinda button stupid for a moment, and I forget how to not take the pure water. Eventually get around that, which is my hardest hurdle in this dungeon to date. Come up on a Lambada knife and a phantom. Just sort of running through the skills available to me for the sake of show. Have a couple different attacks, and we're gonna finish it off with a spell on the phantom, as that was the last portal of the dungeon. Have a chest open right by the door here. While we're opening that, one spawns back. It offers us a worm scale that we decide to disregard. And now nothing to do but claim the statue treasure, which gives us a flare guard and a health charm. I believe it actually gives us 2 health charms, but I've got to take a moment and find something to drop to take this one. Fortunately, I only have 1 copy of the Hanged Man, so that's an easy swap. Folks, that'll do it for this run. Gonna pop up the status real quick. Yeah, already 327 experience in on the way to level 21. This was a fun run, and this has been a grumpy old guy gaming. Thanking you for watching. Have a happy Fragment Friday, and we'll talk to you next time.